attorney Roger P. Foley, and today I'm going to talk to you about a subject that is just making national headlines these days, and that is police brutality. The problem is it's another, it's like the abortion debate, 50% on this side, 50% on this side. Well, I got to tell you, when it comes to pro-police versus anti-police, I'm on the anti-police. And, Lady Justice right here, when it comes to what I think of police officers in general, can you see that? All right. The weight is super heavy on this side, that they tend to beat the crap out of my clients. They're over anxious, they're overpaid, and they take advantage of their power. In other words, they're bullies. Bullies. You heard it. Bullies. They take advantage. So that's right. Who's a judge going to believe? Me in my blue suit, or you because you've had a misdemeanor pot possession? Well, just like the judges say during a jury trial, if a police officer comes in and tells you story A, right, and the guy from Dunkin' Donuts comes in and he tells you version B, who do you believe, right? When we're doing voir dire or jury selection, if someone says, well, I believe the police officer more than I would believe the guy that's selling me Dunkin' Donuts, well, guess what? He doesn't get picked. Why? Because you're supposed to give them, both parties, the same amount of weight until you hear what they say, until they go through cross-examination, until you can decide whether or not this guy tends to be telling the truth more or this guy tends to be telling the truth more. You can't tell that by someone's clothes whether they're telling the truth or not. So a cop and a badge and a gun doesn't mean, oh, he's super cop and he's perfect guy and he's the guy that runs in and saved little children from crazies. That's not what it means. So I get all these Facebook posts and I have people that I went to high school with and they're police officers. And look, there are some good police officers. Some, but generally my clients over the last 11 years, they get screwed by police officers. Screwed. You get it? Screwed by police officers. They come in, they lie right to my face. I can't tell you how many times where I've caught police officers in lies, to the point where one judge said, Mr. Foley, how do you find out these things? Because I work hard. When a client tells me something that a police officer bashed him in the head and then charged him with battery on a police officer, or when my client tells me, look, I had a pound of weed and the cop took, 3/4 of it. Look, yes, can a client lie to me? Are they all saints? No, they're not. I understand that. But at the same time, when they're talking to their lawyer and it's confidential, they don't have to lie to me about stuff like that. I go, listen, you tell me what the truth is. I will work within the parameters of the law to prove your innocence, to mitigate your sentence, to help you. So every single case I have that says battery on a law enforcement, my client has gotten the shit beat out of him. Any coincidence? Oh, well, he hit the cop first, and 9 other cops, all in blue, are all going to swear to tell the truth, and they're all going to have... It's BS, folks. It's BS. Cops in general, they don't start out this way, but they end up... Look, you deal with so many bad people, you deal with so many bad situations, maybe you become numb. Maybe... Look, there's good in everybody. I'm not saying that police officers are all douchebags. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they may be good people who do bad things. It's the opposite. I have aunts and family members that are like, oh, the police, they're right. And, oh, it's just a few small... Bullshit. A few apples? I mean, I've had a few thousand cases, and I can show you a few thousand bad apples. All right? The police, I can't speak for the whole country. I see the YouTube videos. I know maybe the video showed this much, but I'm so sick of, oh, I was in fear for my life. Oh, I had to shoot up the car. Hey, don't step in front of a car, right? It's not like, the guy's running with weed. Like, who gives a shit, right? It's against the law, and I'm sworn to protect. I'm a muppet, right? You don't have to jump in front of a car from a guy who's running away because he's got an ounce of weed or because he's got a violation of probation and a DUI. Like, there's higher crimes. Look, if he's just killed 16 people and murdered a kid and molested a child, Okay, it starts to make sense. But when a guy's got like a violation for not showing up on a driving while license suspended, and you kick down the door or you shoot someone, or you know what drives me even insane is when cops are coming in on warrants and they're like, oh, we're fighting. No, buddies, listen. Here's the secret. Cops get paid overtime. Overtime. So when they look on the little list and who's got a warrant, and they go, uh-huh. And my friend JC used to do this in a Chinese accent. 1475. And you know what that means now, translated in 2015 with my office? It means 14.75 hours of overtime. Because they're going to pick the guy that's got the little weed charges, someone who forgot to show up for recording on like a trespasser, and they're going to show up with a SWAT team, right? We call them the Raiders. 6 guys to 12 guys that show up at an event and they swarm the house. Swarm it for like a little misdemeanor charge or a traffic criminal charge. Why? Because they're being paid overtime, right? When a cop comes to my office for a depo, my depo might last 30 minutes to an hour. He gets paid 3.5 hours. He may show up to a motion to suppress. Maybe the whole motion to suppress lasts an hour. He gets paid 3.5 hours. He shows it up at a DMV hearing. It might last 20 minutes. He gets 3.5 hours. Starting to make sense, folks? Every police officer is not rescuing little babies and putting down the big bad guy. They are beating up and terrorizing regular people. Look, here's the secret, folks. Regular people make mistakes. They're good people. They make mistakes. That's why I'm not saying all cops are the worst and I wish they were dead and shoot them. I'm not that guy. Okay? I think that people don't need to be police officers. I think there's a lot of people. We need civilian boards and we need body cameras on everybody. So regular people, not politically appointed people, but regular people can go, was that justified? And people who don't just buy into the BS, because there's a lot of BS. The defendant came at me in an aggressive manner. I had a kid that was 125 pounds, and the police officer was 270, steroided out, tattooed, and the judge even said, Foley, do you want to stipulate that they're even on the state side? This cop gets up on the stand, right, and says, my client came at him, made a fist, and ran. My client's like 130 pounds wet. It's like a little scrawny kid. This guy's 270, like bodybuilder cop, steroided out, obviously angry. Cop beats the crap out of him. Well, your client came at me, and I feared from, like, even the judge literally laughed out loud during the motion to suppress, or whatever the hell it was. Maybe it was a bench trial, because it was so ridiculous, I actually did a bench trial. Folks, I'm not a fan of police officers. Do I think that they're good police officers? Absolutely. Have I met a few? I have. I've met a few. But a few small apples? No, buddy. Like, this is good cop, right? This is bad cop. So you can't even see to my screen. See, there's so many little cops. So many good cops. I can actually hold them all in one hand. But down here, I'm twisted sideways because they're bullies and they're terrorizing the state of Florida. You know it. I know it. Whoever's listening probably is even listening because they just got the hell beat out of them by a cop who claimed to be in fear for their life. Like, if someone's going to steal your friggin' donut. Like, good night. I'm Roger P. Foley, and cops are terrorizing people. Wake up, folks. When it happens to you, you'll be calling my office. In the meantime, I'm sure I'll get hate mail.